Why can't you speak English language fluently? You have many reasons. Because I believe that you have to work on the reasons, on the problems, because solutions are always lying in the problems. We are not finding out the problems, we are not solving the problems, rather we are seeking for solutions. So we are going into the wrong track. This video is especially for my all English learners who have many challenges in their lives to speak English language, and they complain that they can't speak English fluently. They get stuck, they get stammering in speaking English. So what are the reasons? What are the problems? First we have to analyze all those. Then we have to move forward towards the solutions, because solutions are always covered in your problems. You have to solve the problems, solution will be in front of you. So the very first problem, the very first reason why can't you speak English, that we do not follow the process. Yes, my English learners, we do not follow the process. And you see that everything, every action which we perform in our daily life has a specific process. Either we learn how to write, how to dance, how to sing, how to prepare even a single cup of tea follows a specific process. If you do not add milk into water and other essentials of tea, tea would not be ready. Even if you cook it for hours and hours, it may be burnt, everything may be burnt, but you would not get the tea. If you do not add sugar, how can you expect that tea would be sweet? So, if you do not follow the process of English language and you are going to master this language, to learn this language and to utilize this language for the fulfillment of your dreams. And what is the process? The process of English language is listening, reading, speaking and writing. Are you listening a lot? Are you speaking a lot? Are you reading a lot, or are you writing a lot? Let me know in the comment section. If you are not speaking a lot, how can you expect you can speak? If you are not listening a lot, how can you comprehend the other speaker? If you are not reading a lot, how can you gather the vocabulary to communicate your ideas? If you are not writing a lot, how can you expect that your words will come in an organized way? No, my dear audience, it will not happen. So you have to follow the process. You have to read a lot, you have to listen a lot, you have to speak a lot, you have to write a lot. These four are included in English language learning process. You have to follow the process to command over this language, because this language is the most complicated and the most used language. The second reason why you can't be fluent in English is pretty challenging language. English is a complicated and complex language. Why it is complicated and complex and challenging language? Because English language has borrowed words from French and Italian. English is the most archaic language. Now you can see that standard American dialect is different from English dialect, from Australian dialect. So there are many dialects in English language, and you can't understand the humor, comedy of English language, and you can't understand if a vegetarian eats vegetable. What does a humanitarian eat? Let me know in the comment section. If we say the teacher taught, why don't we say the preacher brought? Why don't we say the preacher brought? The words overlook and oversee have opposite meanings, but look and see have the same meaning. The word desert, D-E-S-E-R-T, desert, means a sandy, dry place with camels, and D-E-S-S-E-R-T, desert, means Swedish. And we can't know what is the logic behind to remain the word silent k in know and k in knowledge. Then why this k is placed before these words. And the most difficult part is of idioms, phrasal verbs. We can't understand what are the phrasal verbs. A long list of phrasal verbs, a long list of slangs, expressions, idioms. And the most important thing is homophones. Homophones are the words which have same sound but different meanings, like right and right. R-I-G-H-T, right, means to write something that is correct, and W-R-I-T-E means right, to write it something on a paper, on anything else. So we can't understand pair, P-A-I-R, pair, and what P-E-A-R, peer. The two words have the same sound but different meanings. Homophones are the most tricky things. Then rules, then different dialects, then the pronunciation, because it is not a phonetic language. We can't pronounce, we can't speak the words as they are written. Some words are stressed, some words are unstressed, some words are silent, some words are not silent. So English is the complicated, tricky, complex language due to which we don't understand and we can't speak English fluently as a non-native speakers. Number 3, misconceptions attached with English language. For example, learning English language is too boring. It's not an enjoyable process. You are too old to learn this language. You are not living in an English speaking community. How can you learn this language? You are a villager. Oh my God, you can't learn this language. You are living in a northern area. How can you expect to learn this prestigious language? You are not joining any online class, any physical class. You are not having a proper library of English books. How can you expect to learn this language? You don't have money. No, you don't have money. If you don't have money, how can you learn this language? So these are the misconceptions which are attached to this language, which makes it difficult for you to speak English language. Number 4, relentless efforts to master grammar. Oh, we are damn serious to master the grammar rules, to master the tenses, idioms, phrasal verbs, slangs, expressions. We are engrossed, we are really indulged that we overlook to speak English. We are so much indulged in the theoretical part that we ignore the practical part. Theoretical part is all grammar rules, tenses, phrasal verbs, idioms, slangs, all contractions, pronunciations, that we ignore the practical part, that is speaking. Speaking is excluded from our educational system. All focus is on traditional method of learning and cramming the grammar rules. But you have to comment me in the comment section that learning English grammar for 13 years, for 14 years has any fruit? Are you master of speaking English language after having perfection in grammar? Then why are you running after perfection in grammar rules? Why are you damn serious about grammar? You need only basic grammar. If you are in the practice of speaking English, grammar will automatically come into you. What you have to do, you have to feed your brain to speak English language. You have to feed your brain with basic grammar necessary to produce simple sentences. When you will be in the process of reading and listening, you will automatically gain this grammar. Grammar is a byproduct. Byproduct is the thing that comes automatically. Now, the other thing is insufficient. Number 5th reason is insufficient vocabulary to express yourself. We do not have enough vocabulary. We have limited vocabulary. If you have to communicate about bank, you have to gather vocabulary regarding bank. If you are having a conversation about politics, you know what is political vocabulary. If you are wanting to have a meeting over humanitarian issues, you must have the vocabulary regarding humanitarian. So each and every aspect of life has specific vocabulary. Why we are not fluent in English because we do not have the sufficient vocabulary required for the specific task. Number 6. We are always in search of finding the right words to communicate our ideas. We are always searching, we are always finding in our mind what is the fancy word, what is the most complicated word to use so that I may sound an educated person. You are not tending towards using the simple words. You are hankering after the fancy, the beautiful, the literary words. That's why you can't be fluent in English. All your efforts are dried out. All your efforts are finished, drained out in searching for fancy, beautiful, literary, right words. That's why you are not fluent in English. If you use simple words with simple sentences, you will be more fluent in English. And fluency is required, not the fancy words, my dear English learner. Number 7. Less exposure to English language. We are not exposed to English language. What is the condition of our native language? We are constantly listening in native language. We are exposed to native language. We are speaking. We are connecting with other people. We are communicating with other people in native language. And as regards English language, there is less exposure to this language. We are not creating an English environment. We are not immersing ourselves in English language. And this lame excuse is that we are not living an English community. Believe me, dear audience, you can create an English environment and you can have a maximum exposure to English language by speaking a lot, by reading a lot. When you are listening a lot, what you are doing? You are creating an English environment. When you are speaking a lot, what you are doing? You are giving an exposure to your brain to speak this language. When you are reading a lot in English language, what you are doing? You are creating an English environment, an English exposure to your mind. When you are writing even, you are doing an exposure to English language. So you have to make an English environment for yourself. You have to give maximum exposure to English language so that you can be fluent in English language. Number 8 reason why you are not fluent in English is inconsistency in learning. Yes, we are very much motivated when we are at the start of learning any language, are starting or performing any task, but with the passage of time or gradually our motivation dies down, and what happens that there are gaps. But if you are really dedicated and desirous to learn this language, there should not be any holiday. There should not be any holiday. There should not be any excuse. There should not be any inconsistency. You have to be consistent. You have to be regular. You have to make a chart. You have to make your study plan. Stick to your study plan so that you can be fluent in English. Number 9 is translating word by word is the biggest difficulty. As a non-native English learners, what is our tendency? Our tendency is to translate every word for word. Our energy is consumed in translation. When other person is having an interaction with us, when other person is having a conversation or gossip with us in English language, we are in the process of translation. So our communication dies. Our communication skills are even ended, and we are on the verge of ending or giving up this journey. The last thing is lack of practice. Yes, lack of practice and expectations, and many expectations. We don't have any practice. We do not do practice, but we imagine that one day I will be a fluent English speaker. Imagine if you are not practicing enough, how can you expect that one day you will be a fluent English speaker? You are daydreaming. That's why English language has become a nightmarish quality for you. That's why you become afraid. And you are fearful of English language. All those fears, all the conditions which are surrounding you actually demand your attention, undivided attention. You have to make a study plan. You have to come out of these misconceptions. You have to work on the complexities of this language. Don't go deep into mastering the grammar rules. Have sufficient vocabulary. Don't hanker after the fancy or the beautiful words. Use simple words. All these things, when come together, it will be a bunch. It will be a bunch of flowers. It will be a vase of different flowers, which will beautify, which will embellish your personality. You have to remove these reasons, and when you remove these reasons, there will be solutions in front of you, because every time you have to work for your solutions. You have to work on your problems, because solutions are hidden in your problems, but our perception is wrong. We are ignoring the problems, but we are finding the solutions. You have to integrate the solutions and the problems. You have to first work on your problems, and then the solutions will be always there. So with this positive note, we end this video. Till the next video, stay happy, stay blessed. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.